We say, Torah tziva lanu Moshe meirasha kihilas Yaakov. The Chazal say the word meirasha is read mu'urasa. Mu'urasa means married. We're married to Torah. How do we know if we're married to Torah? There was a grandfather, a Zaidi. He went with his Einekol to a wedding. He took his little 6-year-old Einekol to a wedding, and he's walking around the chasana. And the Einekol turns to his grandfather. He says, Zaidi, I see who the Kala is. The Kala, she's dressed in white. It's very clear to me who the Kala is. But who's the chasan? On the men's side, everyone looks the same. Everyone has the same suit, hat. Who's the chasan? So the grandfather says, it's a good question. Stay with me. Hold my hand till the end of the chasana. And when we see the person that takes the Kala home, he's the chasan. If we want to know if we're committed, if we want to know if we're committed to Gemara, if we're committed to breakthrough, if we're committed to take the wrappers off and taste the Mesikas HaTorah, if you want to know, do you take your Gemara home? If it's left in yeshiva, not that Gemara specifically, if you don't open Gemara at home or on Shabbos or Shabbos afternoon or Bein Hazmanim or Matzah Shabbos, then the marriage is a broken marriage. If there's a kesher, shal kayama, you could see yourself. Am I opening a Gemara on a plane, on a train, in my house, on the couch, in shul before mincha, after mincha? Am I doing that? And if we're not, we need to do it, because if we don't have Torah in our bloodstream, we're dead. And I'm going to read to you a letter which came on Friday. Happens to be by a balabas, but the same things they gave it to teenagers and to bacharim. And this balabas writes, after I got married, I just never had a drive or will to learn Gemara. I simply didn't enjoy it. In my yeshiva days, I always had a feeling of failure in my Gemara learning, felt bored. Most of the learning in the yeshiva days was based on Rebbe Shir. I was never able to read a daf clearly. I felt accomplished, and after I got married, I just never gave Gemara another shot for 8 years. This person lives in Lakewood, and he writes like this. First he says, although after I got married, things were going smoothly, I felt a knot in my stomach for not being Kaveya Itim. But then he joined Kinyan Masechta. He writes, I joined Kinyan Masechta 2 months ago. And you have no idea how by joining Kinyan Masechta, my life was changed, beruchnius and begashmius. Before I joined this program, I never opened a Gemara to learn myself in years. Now I do. Before I joined this program, I have never gone consistently to shul to daven shacharis. Now I do. Before I joined this program, I did not have a love or sweetness for Gemara. Now I do. Before joining this program, I never chazered. Now I do. And to me, this is the biggest punchline, because he writes, every morning when my alarm rings at 5:30 a.m., I actually jump out of bed with excitement. I am not making this up, he writes. And then this is the punch of all punchlines, and it got me to cry when I was reading this email. And he writes, on my way to shul, I yell with a geschmack birchas HaTorah. One last thing, he says, in the beginning I felt awkward opening a Gemara in my house. I was afraid my wife would faint. But I'm reading this letter to bring this out. How does someone yell Birchas HaTorah in the car between him and Hashem? How does it happen? How does someone yell? I'm just picturing him driving on Route 9 in Lakewood and yelling Birchas HaTorah, Vhaarev Na Shabachabanu. How does that come? That comes from one and only one way. He knows what he's going to go learn, and what he learned yesterday is in his blood. It's in his bones. He loves it. It's his best friend, Abai and Ravi. He has a connection with them. He wants to invite the Chavrusa with the Tanoim and Marayim. That's where it comes from.